Good morning. Good morning, everyone. How's it going? Tuesday morning. Let's see if we have a better day today. Well, yesterday was not bad, but let's see if we actually get some trades here. All right. All right, so basically what I'm seeing today is I may be looking for a short here. Morning, Benton, Chris, Steve, Mary. How are y'all doing today? All right, yeah, so I'm probably looking for a short. So we have this opening range gap here. If I go to the regular trading hours, we have a nice gap down, but we have a 15-minute fair value gap right there that I was watching. I have some buy-side liquidity marked out up there. We do have a volume. This shaded area is a volume imbalance on the daily chart. I think we may still head down, but we'll see. If I go to the 15-minute chart here, basically what I'm looking at what's obvious after, current. Yeah, we have 8 a.m. right here, 7:30 a.m. right around this area, right? So what's obvious here? So what I'm looking at right now, the most obvious area is these relatively equal highs right here. That's going to be my buy side liquidity. And then what do we have? We have this gap downs, right? So we gap down displaced through this low. So currently on the 15-minute chart, the bias is short. And then it's reaching back up, and where did it hit? Pretty much, this is the middle of the daily fair value gap that we have yet to close. If I scrunch my chart, here's the low of that daily fair value gap, and here's the middle. So, right, so we reached back up, hit the middle of it, hit the middle of this 15-minute gap. So, likely, there's a little gap right here on the 15-minute, but I don't think that's going to, be much. So very likely I'm looking for a short actually up in this area. I kind of would prefer to hit the middle of this opening range gap first. And if it does reach up for this buy side liquidity, that's fine, but we'll see what happens there. So yeah, I'm just kind of waiting for the market, like I said yesterday, to show its hand. I mark out what I'm looking at and what could happen, and then wait for the market to show its hand. Hey, Jeffrey. Yeah, so Abel, good morning. Yeah, so I changed October of 2023. That's kind of part of why I stopped streaming as well. It's been a little over a year now, a year and a month since I switched over to ICT. And it's since then I've been the most 1-minute chart. We're pushing up here. I think it's just you, Chris. It's showing to be live still. It looks good. It's showing excellent condition. Chris and his tech issues. Sorry, Chris. You lost it too? Okay, Chris, it wasn't just you. I guess we had a little blip. But it's showing excellent condition. I have my little YouTube analytics thing going here to confirm, since I had all those technical issues getting started yesterday. I don't want that again. Glitch in the matrix. Yeah, as long as it glitches our way, right? So yeah, blame it on Netflix. I can't believe that. Like, I have never had buffering on Netflix or anything. And then when that fight came on, I'm like, wow. So hopefully that was a test run, because they're doing NFL for Christmas, and hopefully they fix it. All right, so yeah, so if we measure this high and this low, that'll give us a dealing range. All right, so we measure this. Here's equilibrium, this little purple line I have here. Maybe I can make that thicker. No, I guess I can't just make that line thicker. But here's our dealing range. So if I'm looking for a short, I want it to be in this area. because this would be what's considered the premium, right? And then I'll take it to the first imbalance or liquidity into the discount. And that would be right here. However, I want to make sure I need to see how much the market's expanding or how much move there is, because yeah, I want my trades to be at least 35 to 40 points or more. Because typically I risk anywhere from 20 to 30 points. So I need to make more than what I'm risking. That's my, like, I have to do that. So let's see, hold on, right here, 935, 930. So 935, this is going to be considered our first presented fair value gap. Right here, it's a small one, but this is the first fair value gap after 930. So I would like to see price continue to reject right up here. Although, like I said, I would not be mad if it shot up and hit the middle of the opening range gap, because supposedly the statistics are 70% of the time it'll close this gap before 10 a.m. But if it reaches at least the middle, and then drops, that's a higher probability that it could go short versus it just going short here, even though I do have a reason where it could stop. And that reason is the middle of this 15-minute fair value gap. So we'll see. But like I said, it could reach up a little higher, and we have that buy side liquidity up here as well. If I look at the 15-minute chart, it has delivered pretty well to the downside, but there's reason it could keep going further. The fair value gap down here, the daily, because we're still inside that daily fair value gap, and then this daily volume imbalance, so it could reach down further. And with the way the structure is on the 15-minute, we took this low and displaced when we took it. So it's reaching up now until it takes these highs right here. I'm not going to anticipate a long on the 15-minute chart. But, you know, it could reach up, take this buy side liquidity, and then come down. So we just got to kind of wait right now. Now, if it does invert this 15-minute gap, I will no longer be very short biased. And then if we get, because we do have, what is going on here? Okay. Yeah, that time it definitely, YouTube glitched me. That one looks like YouTube had an issue. I'm glad it started saying that it was going to disconnect, end the stream. So I'm glad it didn't end the stream, because I would have hated to restart it. Okay, so all right, YouTube, chill out. So one thing that I did do when I started this stream is there's latency options, and you can pick like ultra low latency where the connection will be a little better, but the quality is not as good. So I didn't select that one. So maybe I just have to go with that one next time. Because yesterday I didn't have any issues after I was streaming. So I was trying to get a little better quality this morning. All right, so we're pushing up. So in the scenario where we just push up like this, you got to remember the market is drawing somewhere, right? So like my job as a trader is to figure out where's this draw. So we have the open, right? And then we kind of did this little push up, pull back, and go. Where's the market drawing to? So currently we hit the opening range gap, the middle of the opening range gap right here. That's this yellow line. So it could be done because it drew inside this 15-minute fair value gap and it's hitting the middle. That's where I said I'd prefer it to at least hit that before it drops. And if it does reach up, then I wait until it takes this buy side liquidity and then see if I get a move down. Okay. Yeah, YouTube's doing some funny things. Are y'all still seeing everything? Okay, looks like it's still going. Yeah. It just keeps doing some funny things. So I trade ICT concepts, but I'm not going to be like ICT and say they're watching me. All right, so at this point, it's a waiting game. So I really take, so that's why I don't trade before 9:30, and then I do my analysis like a little bit around that time, and then typically it's going to take me about 15 minutes. I usually don't get a trade until around the 9:50 macro. That's about the time things really start happening. So after the open, it's just drawing, right? Drawing, and I'm waiting, letting the market show its hand. Hey, Enrico, good morning. Benton, let's see. We took yesterday's low and the previous week low this morning before the push up too. Yeah, you can see yesterday's low I have marked here. 2 days ago, well, I guess that would be Friday's low right there. And then if I do go to the weekly chart, we have, I actually did not mark out my weekly low, which I typically do. Oh, yeah, the reason why I didn't mark out that weekly low is because it was the same as that Friday low. And then the weekly high is literally all-time high. So I just have that, which I didn't mark them because I said I would remember based on those things, but I guess I did forget. So actually, I'm going to remove this one, and I'm just going to go ahead and mark that as the last week low there. And then I lock it. That's why I love TradingView. It's so simple to use. Great charting. And they have their Black Friday sale coming out soon. If you go to their website, they have a countdown, literally a countdown. It's like 5 days now, I think, waiting to get their yearly subscription. They usually have a really good sale. All right, so you see how we're rejecting the middle of the opening range gap? I'm looking for it to short. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm looking. That's like, if it rejected right here at the middle of this 15-minute gap and went short, great. But it never actually presented a setup for me. It bounced down, right? But then it's reaching. Okay, right here you can see a wick through, and look where the bodies close. Underneath the middle of that opening range gap. Now, that doesn't mean it's going short yet. We have, like, what I do is I anticipate, right? So I know what the market should do or what it could do, and then you got to anticipate it. It could reject right off of here, just like I said, and then we could see it drop. Now, that doesn't mean I'm just going to short it. I need my setup. I take fair value gaps as my setup. So I need it to drop with some nice, obvious displacement. At this point, we have a little bit of a swing low right here, but it's not quite enough for me to be convinced we're going to go short. So probably I would be watching this swing low right here, right there, to really tell me we're going to go low. So, and then here's our first presented fair value gap. Like I said, it's a small one, but it's there. So I'd prefer price to drop down, displace through this area, and even if it displaces through here, that'd be great with a fair value gap before I'm convinced that it's going to go low. Right here we have a little bit of a volume imbalance, and it could only be, let's see. Yeah, it's very little. It's like 3 ticks, so I might not even leave that on there. Very little. So it might come back to that as well, but I'm going to remove it because it's just small. Well, I can see it there. It's because if I have to zoom in to see it like this, then it's really not that big of a deal. But like this one's more obvious back here, and price came right back into it. And if you don't know like these terms and things I'm saying, I would just recommend going to ICT's YouTube channel and watching the 2022 mentorship. That's where I learned everything. And then he has his 2016 core content where he explains like some of the, I guess, definitions of things. Yeah, Chris, that's what I mean. If I have to really expand the chart like this and say, oh, there's a little volume imbalance, it's not obvious. But if I see it here just on the normal, like with this little A checked, and then with this reset chart view like that, if I can see it here, then I'll mark it. Like this one. This one's more obvious. This one right here is more obvious. That little one I just showed, yeah, that's like a couple ticks. I'm not worried about that one. All right, so now we look like we're trying to expand and displace through. And I love that we're in this 15-minute gap. That's what I was looking to take a short from. So now this is becoming obvious, right? So I would like to see us get a fair value gap right here and then take this low before coming back into it. And if we do that, I'm going to look to short this area. And let's see. Let me mark out my dealing range again. So I always look for targets. Here's equilibrium. So if I could short this area, that would be around 528. I would probably look. We have yesterday's low here. London low. So we haven't taken this swing low here, which I didn't really have to have that, but I'd prefer it. Okay, so I'm actually gonna go short in here because we have this fair value gap. That's where I wanted it.
Order fill.
540. And I'm gonna put my stop right up here at this high. It's a little bit larger of a stop than I wanted.
Order submitted.
It should not take this swing right up here if it's gonna work out. I would have preferred it to take this swing low. You see how it's immediately inverting this? That's not a good sign. So it should not invert this, but it could be reaching up. As long as they don't take this swing right here, I'm okay. But yeah, it's looking like it's not gonna respect it. We'll see if it respects this. Yeah, it's reaching up too high. It's immediately, so that's a bad sign right there, right? So if it immediately inverts this fair value gap, then yeah, it's not good. So it rejected, like it came down, and this is where I prefer. That's why I would have preferred it to take this swing, but I really like this area. We'll see if it uses this inversion because it inverted this right away. So we'll see if it uses this inversion or if it can displace down. If it immediately rejects here, then it's going to go up. So if we get this swing right here and we can close back in this area, then this is where I don't want to see price go back above, is this little swing right here. And we need that displacement down. It just reached up a little higher than what I would have liked to see. Now it's using this inversion. So It's at a point right now. I mean, this is a really good point for it to drop from, but the only thing is I don't like how it reached up that high. So we'll see. And this inversion is holding a bit. So I do need it to drop and take this low and take this low, really. Profit wise, I am going to reach down to yesterday's low. Or actually, let me measure out this range. Right here. Right here at the equilibrium of this leg.
Order submitted.
So now it should not come back up and take this swing high right here. But I do still need it to displace down to, give me more confidence that it's going to actually go. Just because it reached back up too high. So it's still not clear yet. I do like this inversion did not hold. So that's good. However, it's still not a definite winning trade yet that it's going to go down. If it takes this swing, then I want out. So I'm actually going to tighten up right above that swing there. But because I still need some displacement, I really need it to take this low right here. This is where I'd be very confident we're going to go. And we do have a 5-minute. Oh no, never mind. There's a wick there that I did not see. Never mind. So yeah, let's see if we displace down. Now, if we do displace down and it leaves, like what I want to see is it take this low and leave another fair value gap. Then I'd be really confident in this. Right now, I'm confident in it because of the area. I really like the short in this area because of why I explained earlier. It's just not showing quite yet that it's ready to go. This looked like it was going to be nice displacement down, but it didn't take that swing. So we'll see. Like, I want to see the middle of this one get respected again. But it's not just yet. Yeah, see, it's not showing a willingness to just drop yet, to displace. I don't want to see this swing taken. That's why I have my stop there. So it's reaching back up. I need to see it immediately come back down and fill this potential imbalance right here that it's trying to give. I don't know if you can really see it right now because of the drawings I have on there. So I'm just waiting. I want to see this come down and don't leave a little gap right there. And I only take one trade a day. So for those of you that don't know, I only take one trade a day. Win or lose, I'm done for the day. So yeah, it's more than likely going to go up. I don't see it. It should have already dropped. If it was going to go, it should have already dropped. So at this point, if it drops, it's okay, cool. But at this point, I'm already expecting it to knock me out and take my stop out. So it's a waiting game at this point. If it creates a little swing here, then I don't want to see it take this swing, but I'm not going to tighten my stop. Because this swing, we didn't make it a lower low. So technically, all these swings get taken. So right now it's showing a little bit of a high resistance just because it won't displace. But I want to see this little swing right here get taken. That'd be our first good sign that it may work. But you see how it's stopping right there? But, you know, like, I'm not cutting this because I've accepted my risk, right? Like, I'm in the trade. I accept my risk. I have money management for a reason. So now we did close below this swing. That's fine. So it should not come back up above here if it's going to win. The next swing, I definitely want to see it take these two. And I want to see it leave an imbalance here. But you see how it's immediately coming back up and rebalancing this? I don't want to see it do that. I want to see it just displace. See, it's not showing a willingness to drop. If it leaves this imbalance right here, then that'd be a great sign. But we still have 23 seconds. And it needs to take this low. Otherwise, I'm still in the mindset of this is probably not going to work. You see that? It closed that potential imbalance. So very high resistance. Probably not going to work. I mean, the good sign is it took this low. So we'll see. That's the conditions that I don't like trading in is high resistance. I don't think anybody does. Because it just doesn't go like it should. Let's see. Do we have... Yeah, and see, today there's no news really today either. There's just, there was some slight 8:30 news and then G20 meetings all day. So that's, on those days, you're not going to get, you know, it's going to be a bit of high resistance, as you can see. Again, I'm not getting out because I've accepted my risk. I'm in the trade. I'm going to let it hit my target. If it does. The next thing, like I said, I need it to take these swing lows and displace through. That'd be the sign that we're gonna drop. It's pretty heavy in this area though. Like you can still see it's trying to drop. It's just having some pretty high resistance, heavy resistance here. Yeah, I saw that little 15-minute gap there. I wasn't too concerned about that one because of my framework, my overall framework. But man, it's just some high resistance going on here. Yeah, this little gap right there. Right there. Body's closing here. So we'll see. It's failing to displace. It should not take this swing here, but if it's going to win. Yeah. Ooh, I don't. I mean, it's not looking good, just so you know. Very high resistance. Yeah, see? This swing right here is crucial. Right here. Still, I mean, it already on the 15-minute chart closed above this mid line of the 15-minute gap, but we shall see. It's 10:05. Still have a little bit of time left on this 950 to macro. I do like how it reached up and then the body closed down, but yeah, such high resistance. If we don't take these lows here, if we don't reach down and take these lows here, then I may consider going ahead and hopping out or move to break even if we, start getting back down this area, because it's just super high resistance right now. Like, this should have dropped already. And now, I mean, it's inverted this gap so many times. It's just, yeah, see, it's not showing the willingness to go. And there's no news drivers today, so. See, it's holding above this first presented fair value gap as well. It's just staying right up in this area. I mean, it should have dropped by now. Yeah, so I'm not. This thing, I have like a 10% belief in this one that it's gonna go. That's gonna win. Maybe less, like 5% chance. But I'm not gonna cut it. Like I said, I have my stop in place. I have my money management, so there's no reason for me to cut it. I have my stop where I want out if it hits it. So. A little tiny fair value gap right here where it reached into and went up from. So doesn't really mean much, but that's the first one we've gotten in a while since this one here. But it's also why I don't like trading on no news driving days. You get potential high resistance. But see, also that's why if I would have waited for this swing right here, like I kind of wanted, then that would have been much better as well. Getting close, about 10 points away. Yeah, see, this one's... There's no way this is going to win. If it wins at this point, then I'll consider myself lucky. It's not showing any sign that it wants to drop. So on that competition P&L, yeah, there's no way I'm winning that competition or coming even close. I checked this morning, and some people are like, we all started with a 25K account, and some people are at like 85, 90 grand already. And I haven't even, this is my first trade in it. Those competitions, I cannot do well unless if they're multiple months long. I win the long game, not the short game. I'm still not confident in this trade, by the way, just because it's coming down. It's just one of those things where it's a slow. Like I could have got out right there, but like I said, I accept my risk and I have my money management in place. So if it does take this low and leave a volume or an imbalance here, that'd be a good sign. But it's not. Like I'm not confident in this at all still. See, even though it starts coming down and it got to my entry, there's no reason for this to drop at this point. And yeah, I could have got out of break even, but I don't have, like I said, my stop's in a place where I want out if it goes above. And until then, I'll just sit here, and that's why I have money management. That's why I've been getting payouts. But yeah, I'm still not confident in this at all. It's not my favorite to sit and draw down for so long, though. It's like if I'm gonna lose, just lose. Jeez, I want to sit in a trade for 20 minutes to lose. Just lose. I'll sit in a winning trade for 20 minutes. There we go. It's about to knock me out. I gotta make sure and cancel my target order down there. There it is. All right, so that's a loss for the day.
Order canceled.
You can see my P&L total for all accounts. That's all 20 accounts right there. And
order filled.
Make sure everything's closed down. Okay, yep. They're flat. My competition P&L, because I'm trading 5 micros on that, took a nice hit. So, first trade. I'm used to NT because I was using Apex. Yeah. Trading View, it took me a little while to get used to it, but now I can't trade on anything else. I love Trading View. Yeah, that's what I meant. 5 minis on the competition P&L or competition account. Yeah, that's why it's $3,800. But yeah, so this is where I said technically you would want to have your stop above these highs because it hadn't taken this low. But since, and see, and then it pulled back, and this swing high right here, it never made a new low. So having my stop right here was not optimal. Having it up here would have been the best. So I reached up, and now it's dropping. So, hey, and that happens. I don't care, though, because I have my money management. That's the most important thing to me, is having my money management, my plan in place, and not veering off of it. Because if I take another trade or if I do something outside of that money management plan, it'll just mess everything up. Because I know my stats. I know my statistics. I win about 60% of my trades. So that's not a very high win rate, right? But I make about twice as much than I lose. At least a minimum 1.5 more than what I lose. So just those numbers from a pure numbers perspective, you're profitable in the long run. So yeah, but that's it. It's a super high resistance day, no news driver, so kind of have to expect that, and that's the risk, right? So you either have to not trade that day or accept the risk. That's like all we can do. So let me pull this over for this week. See, even tomorrow, there's not much crude oil inventories. That really does not impact NQ hardly at all. So really Thursday and Friday are going to be the best days. But if I see something I like, I'll take it. Such as this. I originally liked this. It took this swing low. We had a swing here. A little swing it took. Then we had this little swing low that it took with some, nice, decent displacement and left this fair value gap. I would have preferred to see this taken, but it came down at an area that I really liked to see price drop from. And I got my setup, and that's it. That's all we can do. That's all I can do. So that's a wrap for me. Again, this is what I do if you weren't here yesterday. As soon as I'm done trading, I go over here and I clean everything off my chart except for the large, like the higher time frame levels I like to keep. Daily fair value gaps, volume imbalance, stuff like that. Wipe that, start fresh, and I do that also so now I don't continue trading. It's like I don't continue trading doing something stupid. Nice, Enrico. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not necessarily teaching ICT because, the best way is just to watch his videos from the 2022 mentorship. That's what I did. But there's things that, obviously, of doing this for a year, that I've noticed, things that, because the videos are not necessarily in a order that is easy to follow all the time, and it takes time to study. So yeah, come in here. I'll show some things that I've learned. I'm still learning too. It's been a year, so I'm always learning, always trying to get better. I have my journal. This is how I journal everything. I have a Kindle Scribe right here, and I write everything down. Got notes every day, making notes, doing all my analysis all the time. So every day, doesn't stop. Nice, since March, yeah. And then it'll click, there's going to be a day where you're just like, oh, this makes sense or that makes sense. But look at this mess, like today, Even if if I didn't get out here, it started to drop. A lot of people will think like, oh, now it's going to go. And it could have. But, I mean, at that point, you know, I'm fine getting out. So, always make sure my everything's flat and rhythmic. Always go to global sim, save everything, and I'm good to go. I took a little bigger of a loss than what I normally like as well, but let's see, it's fine though. Oh, actually, yeah, it took slightly larger, not much. 577.50 minus 5, 33.5 points. That's like basically my max that I'll like to risk on a trade. Anything more than that, I'll just skip it, or I could drop contracts. I'll do that sometimes, but a lot of times I'll just skip it. Unless if it looks really good, then I might take it and move my stop within 30 points pretty quick. But because most of my wins are the minimum I make on my trades are about 35 points. I typically make between 40 to 50 points, sometimes 60. So, all right, well, that's going to be a wrap today. My first trade back on a stream was a loss. Got that out of the way. Copier, close everything. All right, cool. All right, so I hope y'all have a great day. If y'all are still trading, then, you know, be careful. Have a good day. It looks like this could be a little bit of a high resistance. No news drivers. So if we don't get anything by 11, I would definitely wait until the afternoon to trade. And then, yeah, might see the same thing for tomorrow even. And then Thursday and Friday should be good. So, all right. Hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Take care.